Hey guys, hope you're doing really well today or tonight. I want to make a quick video on how I use journals to track success. Now, I do have my journal with me, or one of them, I guess. So this is it here. You can see it's not been used too much, maybe 20% or something. But yeah, lots of writing, pretty much goes into it all the time. This is fairly new, so it will take a little while to kind of get done or get filled up. But yeah, just wanted to make a quick video on essentially how I use journals, and because obviously there's lots of different ways to use journals, lots of different reasons to use journals or notebooks, I guess you could also say. So yeah, just wanted to make a quick video on how I personally use them. Now, I do write based on how I feel. I don't have a fixed schedule of sorts. I know a lot of people use, they have their morning routines done, or they might have their night routine, and they have journaling with that. But personally, for me, I kind of just have them just placed around kind of areas that I frequent. For example, my bedside table is a common one. Obviously, I have this one with me now, so this goes in my bag, which I carry with me all the time. But yeah, just kind of have things around me that can either prompt thinking or when I do start thinking, I can kind of write those things down. So, and look, when I do journal, I kind of just use them as a dumping ground for thoughts. I've written here sometimes daily when traveling. So, like for example, when I went overseas to Phnom Penh in Cambodia and Thailand and Malaysia and Singapore, I bought a little A would have been A6 notebook from Cambodia, and essentially just wrote in it every single day. Sometimes multiple times a day if I had other thoughts in addition to kind of my daily observations, and they got filled up pretty quickly. So but yeah, there's no hard structure. I'd say generally speaking, right now, if I just open this, I mean, you've got you know property stuff, you've got just personal ideas, video topics to write about, things I'm interested in, to do. It's kind of a big mishmash of everything, to be honest with you. Now, in my opinion, there's no hard rule on how to journal. I think this is a common opinion, but yeah, I just write whenever I feel like I want to write. Sometimes it doesn't, I don't write for weeks. Sometimes I'm writing every single day. And yeah, last point here, I do take a notebook with me, either to a cafe, like I was just at Starbucks, and having this with me is really great because obviously you can write things in your phone or just write down a note on your notes app. That's totally fine. But also having a physical book with you, I think, means a little bit more. It's also quite nice just to hold something and know that all these little thoughts of mine, they're all on in this bit of in this little notebook or I guess multiple bits of paper. It's a little bit different to I guess having it in your iPhone Notes app, where you might have 200 different notes, but it doesn't really have the same feeling to me. The fact that I can't physically hold it. So yeah. Now, what am I regularly writing on? Like I said, lots of brain dumping and brainstorming. It pretty much can be anything. There's no hard rule. It's kind of like my brain in a notebook. That's essentially it. I do like to obviously you should keep your notebooks or at least scan them up so they're available online. But I like looking through these, occasionally, maybe once a month, maybe once every couple of months, but just kind of see how I've progressed, how I've grown, different things I'm focusing on. For example, right here, Game Boy SP and Nintendo DS. So these were things that I was interested in purchasing. I didn't end up purchasing them, but it's interesting to see what I was thinking of maybe a couple months ago. To dos, things I got done, just general things. Yeah, how I was feeling at certain times. It's quite interesting. Um, I do like to do quarterly plans. I did previously use Notion for this, but Notion was, in my opinion, it was good, but it was too not complicated, but it had too many options for me. I'm quite simple. I prefer the Notes app, for example. So I ended up doing them on this now. And for example, some of the things was getting Mexican residency, purchasing properties, other professional goals, etc. Running a half marathon. So all these things that I have upcoming for next quarter, I'd write them in here and then kind of just plan around that and regularly check in or if a quarter's passed, see how it went and yeah, change things for the future. When I do travel, I did in Cambodia, I did purchase a new journal to fill it out with different ideas and experiences. Quite cool to look back. Lots of it literally is a gold mine. It's really, really good. It ends up being, yeah, like I said, a treasure chest. Even if you, I mean, ideally you use it to kind of help progress you somewhere, but even if you don't, it's just really cool to look at. It gives you a really honest, if you write down honestly how you feel, a really good, honest, insight into your brain that, it's almost like a second person looking at you and you're looking inside of yourself. Don't think you can get there with many things, so pretty cool. Now, my writing kit, I've used a mix of notebooks from Kmart and Big W, from Lectern to Midori, Moleskine, or Moleskine, sorry. This is just a Big W one I have with me now. Or sorry, Kmart, I think. Might have been $5 or something like that. So nothing crazy, and just a generic ballpoint pen. Nothing crazy. I will say the best notebook I've ever used was my A6 Lectern, 1917. It was a hardcover like this, and it did have a little, um, stringy thing here. Also had your, I don't know what this is called either, but it had this as well. Really great. It also, the paper was a little bit tinted. You can see that this is white, but the paper for the Lectern was a little bit darker, a little bit tanned. I forgot the term for it, but I really enjoyed that. That was really good. With the pens, I am just using a standard ballpoint pen for this one, but I'm not very across pens. I know they can get quite complex. A lot of the Japanese things that I've seen from who was it? It was another YouTuber. I think it was James Scholes or something like that. He talks about lots of different pens and lots of and Parknotes as well. He's another one. But we're really getting into the whole thing about pens and ink. But for me, it's just ballpoint pen for now. I am though starting to appreciate some of the nicer stuff. This is a nicer ballpoint pen, if I can call it that, like a Sharpie of sorts. But yeah, I mean, getting the cheapo stuff where it's really hard to write, and also like this Kmart notebook is okay. I've grown to like it a little bit more. But initially, it was like it wasn't as fun to write in as Lectern, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, I think having something nice, and it's not expensive, could be 20, 30, $40 in total, call it $50. You can get something, you can put something together that you actually enjoy using, and then that's when you're gonna get a really good result. But look, if it was the difference between this or nothing, I mean, you can really just start with nothing if it's really a deal breaker for you. I really did start with nothing. I started with just writing down on bits of pen and paper, on my notes app, etc., and then you kind of progress. That's how at least I've done it. But yeah, it just depends what you want. I think you definitely need to trial and try different things, different types of pens, different types of notebooks, different types of even like whether it's lined or grid or blank. There's so many different options. So it can be a little bit overwhelming at first, but once you find it, I think you'll get a really good result, and you'll want to write and journal and a notebook. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for me. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.